Breaking news. Enemy number 1 says Kursk attack in Ukraine was shameful for Putin. Ukraine's wonder incursion into Russia's Kursk area has been humiliating for President Vladimir Putin, stated Kremlin critic Bill Browder. Browder, a British-American financier who describes himself as Putin's number 1 enemy, made the feedback in an interview with Instances Radio, broadcast on Thursday. He spoke on Day 3 of the Ukrainian armored assault that took Russia with the aid of wonder and has resulted in Kiev's forces seizing control of as a minimum 166 rectangular miles, 430 square kilometers of Russian territory. In roughly 24 hours, Ukraine's forces beaten most important strains of fortifications inside the Kursk area that took Russia over and a 1/2 years and more than $170 million to build, according to Russian investigative website Online Agentstvo. Russia has declared a federal emergency in Kursk and is now scrambling to set up additional assets to the vicinity, diverting manpower away from the warfare it started in Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry on Friday published movies of Russian army gadget being moved towards Kursk's Sadzansky district, that's said to now be partially occupied through Ukraine. I assume that is a dramatic improvement and something which both symbolically and militarily in reality has massive implications. Symbolically, this makes Putin appearance vulnerable, said Browder, CEO and co-founder of Hermitage Capital Management, the funding advisor to the Hermitage Fund, which become as soon as Russia's biggest foreign portfolio investor. Browder cited that Putin released his full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, describing it as a special army operation and prosecuting those who veered from the Kremlin's narrative of the struggle. The purpose of calling it that turned into to make it look like it's something very a ways away, now not affecting the Russian human beings, he said. And all of a unexpected, a piece of Russia has been annexed through Ukraine, and perhaps I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. However, the symbolism of Ukraine's advances in Kursk is intense. Due to the fact, how does Putin characterize this? That is the struggle he commenced, which has now bitten off a chunk of Russia. And relying on how this performs out, how long Ukraine can hold the territory, can they get more territory, it is even extra humiliating for Putin, stated Browder. Ukrainian forces on Thursday have been pronounced to nearly be in complete control of the town of Sudza, a fuel transmission hub that allows the waft of Russian gasoline to Europe. Performing Kursk nearby Governor Alexei Smirnov has said that the situation remains hard. Ukraine is a complete underdog, but they are a very powerful underdog, stated Browder. They have used what limited tools they must the maximum advantage to harm Russia and Putin. Each person idea this conflict became going to be over in 3 days, and now we're and a half of years into it and Russia is struggling, he added. Putin on Wednesday referred to as Ukraine's past-border armored attacks a huge-scale provocation, at the same time as Russia's protection ministry has sought to downplay the dimensions of Ukrainian advances, affirming a victory amid the incursion at the least 6 times, in step with Agentstvo. The ministry has also claimed the destruction of 945 Ukrainian Navy personnel and 102 armored automobiles in Kursk seeing that Tuesday, sparking backlash from observers of the war. In the meantime, Russian Army Chief Valery Gerasimov said the other day that the Ukrainian militia group that crossed the border amounted to simply beneath 1,000 human beings. So, anyone has already been killed? Then who controls the occupied territory in Kursk? Requested X, formerly Twitter, user Dmitry, from Struggle Translated, an impartial undertaking that translates substances about the warfare. Pinnacle Russian General Apty Aladanov, commander of the Akhmat Special Forces unit fighting in Russia, broke from the Kremlin line on Thursday when discussing Ukraine's Kursk incursion. Ukrainian forces captured Russian settlements in Kursk because Moscow had neither forces, nor way, nor sources to stop them, stated Aladanov, and best friend of Putin. In an extraordinary admission, Aladanov also confirmed the deaths of Russian troops inside the offensive. Moscow not often feedback on its warfare casualties. There may be no irreversible method, nothing supernatural happened. Yes, the guys died, it really is authentic. Numerous populated regions, the enemy entered there, he stated.